Hi, how many times you thought to start your own company but struggled with the questions like where to start, how much money I need, or what if there are already competitors on the market? Today I'm going to talk to Megan. She's a French Israeli entrepreneur and the co-founder of the Developers.Institute. Developers.Institute is a bootcamp that helps people to learn skills that they need to land their job in a high tech. So after watching this video, you will learn how to find your niche, how to deal with the competitors, or how to grow globally. So let's start. Okay. Hi Megan, thank you for having me. It's very interesting and very important for me to interview you because you're a very important human in my life. So I want to ask you several questions about the Developers.Institute, about yourself. So can you tell us a bit about yourself, about your background?
Sure. So I'm Megan Dreyfuss. I'm a French entrepreneur, French-Israeli entrepreneur actually. I've been working in a few different companies in the EdTech industry, especially the marketing industry, for 13 years already. And I'm passionate about education. I'm really, really passionate about education. I discovered that through education, you can actually change people's life. And that's what I'm passionate about. So I'm giving 100% to this.
Yeah, amazing. And Developers.Institute, the main topic we're going to talk about today. How did you came up with this idea?
So it's actually a very interesting question. I didn't invent the wheel, okay? I didn't invent nothing. I just wanted to take whatever is going on the market today and adapt it to people's problems and help them solve some challenges and issues. I'm not even sure you know about the story, so I think you're gonna love this one. My main inspiration behind Developers.Institute is actually my husband. I don't know if you've met my husband, but he is a special guy. First of all, I love him very much, obviously. But he taught me so much about resilience and benevolence. He was born with a little, I would say, particularity. He's deaf. He doesn't hear very well. Let's say he hears 20% of what we're saying. And he did an actual boot camp just before we met. And thanks to technology, EdTech, coding in general, he succeeded to integrate himself into the EdTech industry. And slowly, he started to, climb the ladders and became a software engineer.
Amazing.
And when I realized that, I told myself, wait, you don't need to actually speak Hebrew in order to integrate yourself into the EdTech society here in Israel.
Right.
So I can actually use his methodology, his motivations and values in order to help any other Olim Chadashim, new immigrants like me here in Israel, to work on their integration. And I would say that a Developers.Institute is an amazing partnership between my inspiration with my husband and obviously my meetings with Avner and Jeremy. Avner and Jeremy had also this idea of a boot camp. We just decided to, meet all the three together and add what we're adding to the plate, which is very different. I'm very different from Avner and I'm very different from Jeremy. And I think that the success of the company is also based on this diversity.
I agree. And okay, you have an idea.
Yeah.
And you have a motivation behind this.
Yeah.
How did you really validate it so that it will be like, you have a market feed or it will be...
Well, the case of Developers.Institute is a bit particular because the reason why I also wanted to create a bootcamp was because I wanted to learn how to code and I was not satisfied with what's going on the market today. I went to few bootcamps and few of them told me that I was not able to join their classes because I didn't have a special technical degree, or some of them were only teaching in Hebrew, or some of them were not teaching the right languages that I wanted to learn. So I told myself, I said, if there is nothing on the market that actually suits me, I should create my own solution.
Because you're not the only one, right? Yeah, that's always the case.
To answer your question, I don't think that you should really get attached too much about your idea. A lot of entrepreneurs or wannabe entrepreneurs, they're telling themselves, I'm not going to share the idea because it has to be secret, etc. The reason why it worked out with Avner and with Jeremy is because we all speak out about what we want to do, what we want to launch, and how we want to do it. Today in the entrepreneur world, the idea that the value of an idea is probably zero. What's the most important is the execution behind.
Right, I agree, totally agree. And you basically answered to this question, but I want to ask it out loud.
Yeah.
So when you decided that you want to do this, so there were definitely competitors on the market, or a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is one of the things that demotivates people creating something, because they have an idea and they go to the market and see, okay, there are already 20 companies doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Why should I start? Why didn't you think about it?
Well, I love this question. Actually, when you have competitors, that means that you have a market.
Yeah.
If you do not have competitors, that means that you do not have a market. So I really advise you to launch yourself into an industry where you already have competitors. Basically today, if you want to launch, I don't know, a product, a shampoo line, you want to do it for long hair, brown, long hair, whatever, or blonde, whatever. You will never launch a shampoo for bald people. Why? Because there is no market for it. The reason why you should, launch yourself into this industry, it's because you have something special that your competitors do not have. It can be your motivation, resilience, benevolence. It can be your network. It can be special access to a special resource. For example, let's talk about shampoos again. We are here in Israel right now. Israel is very well known for the Dead Sea products and the mud products, etc. So you actually have a competitive advantage, facing Chinese or European entrepreneurs. So actually, if you want to launch shampoos, I would definitely advise you to work on that rather than working on something very special in a laboratory or whatever. You should always look around and see what is your competitive advantage, what is your unique selling point.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite examples is Tesla. Why to create it? Because you have something special. The cars market is very wide, and you have many competitors with the well-known names. So, but still, Tesla is a well-known example how to succeed in the market.
And it's also great because it shows how a very old market can be disrupted still. Obviously, there is a big difference between launching a company like Tesla or launching your shampoo line, right? It doesn't represent the same investment.
Exactly.
Obviously, if you want to launch a plane company or a car company, you should have enough money and connections to do so. If you do not have, then I would advise you to start with something small. Inside the car, it can be any car product, and then slowly you climb the ladder or the actual vertical of this industry.
I agree. So to launch something, you have to understand something in this area. Like, for example, you're talking about shampoos, you might need to understand how it basically how to produce it or something like that. So did you have any previous coding experience, or had any advisors? Like, if, for example, tomorrow I'll decide to start my own bootcamp, what should I know?
Well, I'd rather people not to start a bootcamp after this video. I have enough competitors right now. But I would say, actually, my coding experience was not that, wide. However, I really wanted to learn. So I was not a specialist in coding, but I was a specialist in wanting to learn how to code. Because I understood that in my previous companies where I worked, Google or Criteo or whatever, coding, the knowledge of coding will bring you a higher pay or a more interesting job or something like this. So actually being a professional into the industry that you want to launch is a nice to have, but it's not mandatory. Especially with, the use of the tools you can have today, like ChatGPT or I don't know what. you can actually ask any questions. If tomorrow you want to launch your shampoo line, just go on ChatGPT, ask them how to make a shampoo. They will exactly write you the recipe. Yeah. So today you don't need to be a professional. You need to be a professional of the niche you're targeting.
Yeah.
So for example, me, I'm a professional of new immigrant here in Israel, and I knew that I would be able to launch a product for them. It can be a bootcamp, it can be a digital marketing course, it can be an entrepreneurship course. We will never know, okay, because it depends on the industry and the actual situation. Mm-hmm. But the most important thing is you are a specialist of your client or your future clients.
I agree, yeah. And for example, what was the first thing you did? So you decided to go and to create a bootcamp. You found I don't know, you shared your idea with someone, as you told, or you found investors, or you found someone that you would like to work with. What was the first step?
So a lot of entrepreneurs or wannabe entrepreneurs, they are focusing themselves on raising money and meeting investors, etc. Actually, I think it's a terrible idea. Developers.Institute is my third company. Oh. The two first one, I did it with investors, and I realized that I was not, I would say, responsible, and I was not capable to take the decisions on my own. I all the time needed to speak with my investors, to tell them, to give them, feedback about the market, etc., and or the product. And it actually blocked me in a lot of, innovation-wise, or when you are tied to an investor, you're by definition tied. So you cannot do anything, especially when you're looking for your product market fit. So I would always advise people, entrepreneurs, to launch a product bootstrap, which means from zero, was 2 pieces of wood and 1 piece of string. It's always better than having an amazing product, but that is tied to your investor, and your investor is an amazing person, but they don't understand your business, because their business is to make money out of you and not to create a new product or to disrupt an industry. So the advice is, unless you really understood what is your product market fit and you have an MVP and you know exactly how to approach your niche and launch the product, do not link yourself to an investor. What is the first advice? First of all, speak up about your product. If people can bring you something, they will. Why? Because people always want to be part of something cool. And if they see how motivated you are, how crazy you are in your startup, they will always follow you. That's the first thing. The second thing would be to fake it until you make it. That's one of the most important advice that has been told to me. So create a website. When you create a website, you know exactly about the value, the unique selling points, etc. So it will help you define your product. Because sometimes we think too much about the product and we don't think about how we can sell it. And you cannot, it's a couple dance. You have to work on your product and also to work on the sale of your product. So,
these things are very connected, and then the day I agree. When you have investors, you always have to validate your ideas. So the creativity, the angle of creativity is getting lower and lower. I mean, and you're totally right that their business, their aim is to get money out of you, right? Out of the company. And your idea is to create something and to also to earn money. That's nice. And so when you started, so your first days or in your first month, I wanted to talk a bit about the metrics. How do you measure, do we have success? Are we going the right way or are we going the wrong way? Maybe we need to change something.
Actually, I would love to tell you more about my first 3 months at Developers.Institute. So Avner and Jeremy were already having this company together called Developers.Institute. And at the beginning, I don't think that they understood how much I could bring, which is the situation that a lot of entrepreneurs can find themselves in. And I told them, I said, listen guys, I've launched a few schools before. I know exactly how to start a school from zero, especially from a country that we were not born here. I told them, I said, let me work for you for 3 months for free. And if I make enough money, and we define about this amount of money, and if we have enough students sitting in the class, then you will give me the opportunity to be part of the company. What do you think about that? That was kind of a okay deal for them, because they were getting a very motivated person for 3 months without paying her, and then they will get, whatever they can after 3 months. And that's exactly what happened. After 3 months, I sat in the class, because I told Abner, I said, I really want to learn coding. That's why I'm launching this school. That's all. And the first day of the bootcamp, he came to me and he said, I'm sorry, you cannot sit in the classroom because I really need you to launch the company with me.
Yeah. Nice.
So the metrics were basically making money, being positive in the balance, and also see a real interest for the product. It's very important when you have metrics, when you ask yourself to have metrics, to set up a time frame, because you can tell yourself, okay, my goal is to sell 100,000 shekels. Okay, but in 2 days, 3 days, 3 years, 1 century, you always need a time frame. You need an objective, and you need someone to report your objective. That's why I really like to be vocal about my objectives. It's like, when you're on a diet or when you want to do sport, when you say it officially, when you say it publicly, then you kind of put yourself in a situation where you cannot go back.
Yeah, it forces you to continue. Yeah, I agree. And I wanted to highlight this, to mention this. When I came to Developers.Institute for the first time, I remember you very well.
Yeah.
Like how motivated you were, and you really, you sold me the whole idea of the Developers.Institute, just even in a good way, because I was also like pumped. Like, okay, they're doing great things here. And then I was looking for different boot camps, and as you told, I didn't find something that fits me. So my specific case was I had to continue working on a full-time job, and I had to attend during the evening classes. So, and I was concerned, okay, evening classes maybe won't be enough, but then I saw people motivated inside, like in Developers.Institute, and I was like, okay, these people can do something for me, something really good. And the second part, maybe it's me, but I totally realized that there is two ways game. So you're giving me something, I have to take it, and also to return you back, like in terms of the results that I acquire the knowledge. Yeah.
How long was that?
I think it was like the total bootcamp.
I think you started your bootcamp 3 years ago, 3 years and a half.
Yeah, it was about 3 years. So I started bootcamp, I finished the bootcamp, a few weeks later, COVID.
Yeah.
And I was like...
So 3 years and a half,
Yeah, so 3 years and a half.
And you're still sticking with us. That's happiness. I love it.
This is the main, for me, it's one of the main metrics that people return here. Just also for fun, and I will talk to you, and this is amazing, really.
I think what we've launched as well with Abner and Jeremy is the fact that we have now a community of entrepreneurs, EdTechists, and when you are a new immigrant, you come from, you don't come from here, I don't come from here either. We needed to have someone who can pass your resume or who can help you, etc. And every Israeli, they have this through the army, through the high school, through the friends of their parents. We started based on nothing, so we needed to create our own community, and I think that this is the reason why we succeed at Developers.Institute, because we understood that.
Cool. About the region of the Developers.Institute, so the moment, as I understood, Jeremy and Abner, they were in charge of it in the beginning, right? So they had their own savings, or they had investments, or
not some. They put their own money in it. I mean, Jeremy didn't. I don't think that Jeremy did. We're talking about less than $5,000. Okay,
really?
We're not talking about a big investment. I actually met Avner during a meetup session, you can find on the website for French entrepreneurs. And I was introducing my school. I had a school in France, in Paris, and I really wanted to launch the branch here in Israel, the franchise. And he really wanted to launch Developers.Institute, and I was like, wait. We cannot have two winners right now. So maybe I should put aside my school and join his school, because I believe that this is also a very interesting school.
Okay.
And this is how I understood slowly that I also need to learn how to code. I was very open-minded. I was not like married to my idea or to my school. I wanted to give something to the new immigrant society. I didn't really know how to do it, but I knew that I needed to partner with the right people.
Yeah.
And Avner and Jeremy looked like the right people for me and for this project. So that's the first thing. The second thing I would say is that basically you need to understand as well that your product is not defined. You always need to adapt your product to the market. So
yes.
I had one idea, they have another idea, and at the end we created a third idea because we were based on our feedbacks, you see. Yeah. So again, very important, especially if you're doing a school or something in the education world, I would really advise you to slow down with the investors. Why? Because if you want to make money, do not come to the education industry. Education is not making money. It's a people-based business. If you want to make money, then go to another industry. Something else needs to motivate you if you want to join education, because education is freaking hard. It's like having a baby. At the beginning, you don't sleep. You need to give a lot of self-confidence to the people. You need to teach them from basics, etc. This is what we love to do. We know it's challenging, but this is what we love to do.
I think sometimes people come here and they're a bit lost, I would say, and with your inspiration, you have also inspired them to continue to believe you, that you will lead them to the point where they want to be. So in the future. So I mean,
I'm not a lead. Like, I don't want to be a cult leader or something.
But I think I felt a bit like this because I'm like a new immigrant in Israel, and I want to get to the high tech and to the IT industry. And I saw you like very inspired leading all this bootcamp, and I said, okay, I can trust these people. And
I think, many people tell themselves, oh no, I'm not clever enough, or I don't have enough good grades at school, or I'm stupid, or I don't have a high IQ, whatever. For many years, I asked myself these questions, like, how come I was not good at school? I'm not particularly clever person. I'm average, okay? I wouldn't say I'm stupid. I wouldn't say I'm very clever. I'm really average. And most important, I was not good at school. The reason why today I'm good as a school owner, it's because I created Developers.Institute as a school like I wanted to go to, and
for not perfect people, for
kind of broken people like me, and also because the fact that I succeed in EdTech, I came from a small city in France. I came to Israel. My first salary was 4,883 shekels a month for a full-time position as an HR. That was my first salary. And I told myself, I said, how can I raise a family? Like, how can I make money here? So slowly, I climbed the ladders. Slowly, I understood how, get into bigger and bigger companies until I got to Google. And when I got to Google, I even got some messages from colleagues or from friends, or not so friends, but people I knew. We didn't know you were that clever. And I was like, I'm not clever, I just hacked the system. So I wanted to launch a school to teach to other people how we can hack the system. And I think that for many years I cried because I didn't have enough gift from life. I'm not clever, I'm not rich, I'm not, I'm not good at school. And then I realized that the reason why I'm good today, it's because of that. Because I didn't have all of that. So you need to understand where is your strength, what you can bring to the world, and how you can multiply it to biggest amount of people out there.
So that actually answers one of my next questions.
Yeah, I know.
So there was I had a question where I wanted to ask, what do you think is the most important to to start your own business? Like, is it MBA is the most like important thing ever, or you have to graduate from Cambridge, for example, or I mean, you don't have to have all these things, right?
No.
I think for me, one of the key to success is consistency. Like, when you do things consistently and you do believe in yourself, this is a key to success, basically. And the most important thing is, it's part of consistency terminology, but again, do things, not only talk about things, not only dream about things, but also start doing things.
I would really advise to your to the people following this video to read about Paul Graham and Do Things That Don't Scale. It's like a little pieces of paper explaining how you should start as an entrepreneur with the little things. Do not scale right away, because you need to understand exactly how your product is built in order to scale it the right way. I would just add something. I don't think that self-confidence is actually important when you launch a business. Personally, I don't have a lot of self-confidence, but
doesn't look so.
I know, but because people are very shocked when I say that, but it's true. I don't think I'm the best. I really don't. I think my product is the best. I don't think I am the best. The reason why my product is the best is because I have enough humility to say, wait, maybe I didn't understand exactly how the market goes, and I always try to come back to zero. I always try to meet new people. If someone is coming through the school, like the door of the school, and I never met him or her, I would always take 5 minutes, 10 minutes to understand who he is, what does she want, etc. Even if it's the cleaner or a new client, because you will never know from where your next inspiration or your next move is coming from. And I think more than self-confidence is to be open-minded, much more important than self-confidence. Self-confidence, especially for women, you cannot really work on that. A little bit of sport, a little bit of meditation, a little bit of this and that. But you will always have the imposter syndrome, no matter what. So that's why I think fake it until you make it is way more important than believe in yourself or all kind of, yoga sentences that you can find out there.
I mean, these sentences maybe are good, but still, without doing things, I totally agree. And you actually also described it, but I think let's highlight it maybe. How do you build the relationships between like Developers.Institute and the students? I mean, or is known as clients. And at the end of the day, students are clients also. How do you build this relationship? How do you make them like feel comfortable with you?
By connecting with them, when I met you for the first time, I sat with you and I asked you, what is your objective? What do you want to do? And I'm very honest with every client or student at Developer. I don't like to speak about clients. I like to speak about students. I always ask them, what is your objective? Sometimes their objective is X and you can help them. Sometimes it's Y and you cannot help them. If someone is coming to me and say, my goal is to be a developer at Google next year, I will tell him, do not come to me. I'm not the right person. Maybe go to Cambridge or Harvard. Like, you will have a better chance for that. I always try to understand what is the objective of my students and see if, as Developers.Institute, I do have the tools to help them. This is the best way to connect the school, the entity, the organization with the students. You also need to understand that when you connect your company to, I would say, the exterior environment, it's not just your students. You have organization, you have the state, you have any other people who can help you bring students. So you need to also connect them on this level. That's why it's very personal, and that's why I think it needs to be done by one of the founders.
So 3.5 years ago, when I just met you, Developers.Institute was based like in the -1, -2 floor, right, with a few rooms. Can you tell what Developers.Institute looks like today? And now you have a lot of success.
Well, today, when we met, we were in -1 on the Khadam Street,
it's
which is like very high-end. So yes, we had an amazing address, but you needed to press -1 to go to the floor. I loved it. It looked like, for me, the Batman cage. You know, the Batman cave. I'm sorry, not the Batman cage. Today we have few offices in Tel Aviv, and we have 13 other offices around the world. For many people, Corona was a stop. For us, it was an amazing speed, I would say speed help, because basically people didn't want to meet physically anymore, so everyone was reachable out of a click, you know, out of a Zoom call. So actually, we started our internationalization thanks to a friend of mine. We were having a beer. A friend of mine was telling me, listen, I'm in big trouble. I was supposed to have someone talking to me in Cameroon next week. They just canceled on me. Do you mind coming with your co-founder in Cameroon, explain to 150 people how to code and how to be an entrepreneur? I said yes. We did all, you know, everything that needed to be done, visa, vaccines, or whatever. 1 week later, we were in Yaoundé, which is like the economical capital of Cameroon. We were invited by the embassy of Israel, Israeli embassy of Cameroon. And for 1 week, we gave 100 of hours of courses to 150 Cameroonese. We met someone on site saying, hey, we love what we're doing. We love your energy. We want to partner with you. Let's launch a school together. We said, yes, obviously. We gave them everything, all the platform, everything, which is a lot of money, okay? It doesn't represent, in terms of content and in terms of creation, it's a lot of money, but I knew that I needed to give them something so they could start. Later on, a year later, another country called us, and then later on, you know, we developed ourselves to 13 countries.
Wow, amazing result.
Yeah.
Really. Let's have the last one.
Yeah.
So, what will be the main advice you would maybe give to entrepreneurs that just want to start? They have an idea.
Yeah.
They maybe had the sort of validation, but they're afraid to start. They're afraid of the market, competitors.
It's okay to be afraid. If you're not afraid, that means that it's not enough important to you. So do not tell yourself, oh no, I'm scared, that's not good. It's great. It means that you're human. It means that you have feelings, and it means that you understand the danger and also the positiveness that can come out of your idea. The first thing I would say is it's okay to fail, but fail quickly, okay? If you create something and it doesn't work out, then fail quickly and start something again, so you don't stay on this state of mind. The second thing is, do not try to make money too much, you know, like too quickly, okay? Try to really understand your product and understand the approach of your product among the actual business. And the last thing would be speak out. Speak out about your idea. You will never know if your co-founder is in the bus next to you or at university next to you.
Yes, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Nikita.
I was happy to talk to you again.
I cannot wait to see this video. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.